Syria has warned that it will strike militants hiding in neighboring Lebanon if the Lebanese army fails to act. Syria's foreign ministry says over the past couple of days a large number of militants have crossed into the Syrian town of Tel Kalah from Lebanon. Syria says it expects the Lebanese side to prevent armed terrorist groups from using its borders as a crossing point. The infiltration, Syria says, violates its sovereignty. In an interview with Press TV, the Syrian ambassador to Lebanon warned that his country's patience on the matter is running out.
This is the riding exhaust.
We have sent memorandums on a near daily basis to the Lebanese side over the past few days. There exist in Lebanon some areas which welcome and take in these armed terrorist groups, and the groups are now expanding their activity and escalating their acts of violence and killing border guards. This means, and until now, Syria has exercised self-restraint for the sake of the Lebanese families who live on the other side of the border, although there has been an increase in crimes and violence from this very same side. But as the memorandum states, this self-restraint cannot continue forever.
Let's talk to Dr. Randy Short, a human rights activist from Washington. Welcome to the program, sir. Doctor, the Syrian army says it will take matters into its own hands and deal with insurgents in Lebanon soil. I mean, first of all, what does this mean in terms of both Lebanon's sovereignty and the fact that the war will literally spread beyond Syria's borders?
Well, we need to be honest. The war has already spread, and I'm of the impression that the anti-Syrian sentiment among certain persons within Lebanese civil as well as governmental society is in favor of seeing the government change in Syria, because they're upset about the 29-year presence of Syrian forces that in reality stabilized Lebanon as a country, although they don't seem to remember that. So there's some payback that certain people see as vengeance. And I believe the Syrian government is rightful to defend its borders. I've been reading for months arms shipments coming to Lebanon, some of them seized, some of them not. How much is the government of Syria supposed to take?
And so do you think there will be a possibility for Syria to enter Lebanon?
Well, Syria's had to do it before. You know, we use these terms Lebanon and Syria, but it used to be Greater Syria. Lebanon was created by the racist colonial French as a way to divide people along sectarian lines with their confessional system. So you have the Maronite, the Druze, the Shia, the Sunni. This is a mess that the French have made. And in reality, the Syrian government under Hafez Assad before and the son have in many ways helped make a very difficult country called Lebanon to keep from imploding. I mean, the civil war that they had there. So Syria has, for better or for worse, been a friend under very difficult circumstances with its neighboring country, which in reality was cleaved out of what would have been a larger Syria.
And the fact that
not that I'm saying that I don't support Lebanon being a separate state.
Indeed. And now the fact that Britain and France are trying to bypass EU arms embargo on Syria, I mean, doesn't this provoke the situation even more, considering the fact that dialogue hasn't been given a chance yet?
Of course it is. And it gets to a point I'm making that a lot of Lebanese identify more with France and French-speaking people and white people than they do their fellow Arab and Muslim sisters and brothers. So France has a natural pipeline to go to people who are Hawaja-type Arabs to attack another sovereign Arab state, and they hide their hands. And there's a price to pay for that. And the Lebanese should remember that Syrians came in and fought to get Israel out of Lebanon. There seems to be a failure of recognizing that there needs to be solidarity in those countries and not allow themselves to be pitted and used against one another. I mean, this has been going on since the mandate system of 1920 that was established up until you got independence in the early 40s, mid-40s for Lebanon and Syria. So the government of Lebanon really needs to step up and stop this. And as well, who's benefiting from it? Israel is. And I think it's wrong for people to try to get vengeance against the state of Syria over the assassination of Hariri, when if you look at who's benefited from it, who really benefited from the assassination of this man in Lebanon, I'd say Israel. Syria had nothing to gain from that.
Indeed.
And so look at where we are now. People trying to get revenge off of this assassination, and it can create a larger conflict in which lots of innocent people will be hurt.
Indeed. All right, we'll leave it there for the time being. Many thanks to Dr. Randy Short, human rights activist in Washington. Thanks for your time there, as always, sir.